What's up, YouTube fans? Today we're going to take a look at the Ocular Max TFCon Chicago 2025 exclusive Megalith, or their version of a Masterpiece Scale RID Megaoctane. So this completes the set of RID figures, the exclusives from Ocular Max. So we are able to put together the Combining or Eversus, their version of RID Ruination. Now, I want to kind of point out some of the differences between this and the original release. So let's break him in so you can see the figures up close. And starting off with the eyes, they now have a metallic red for the eyes, black for the head, obviously. I mean, all the colors are different, but I'll point out that the eyes actually look really good with the paint on it versus this translucent color. Chest is actually molded differently. You can see the panels have different line work on it. And of course it's painted in this orange, white, and black. Gold paint here for the chest area. I do wish they would include a panel to cover up this hole. I think it looks a little strange. Like a panel just to cover this up. That way you can put a Decepticon logo on there. But you have gold here instead of the silver down here. This darker green instead of this olive green. I think that chest is about the only molding change between the two. You do have an added accent here, a little bit of copper paint there, or gold paint. You have the camo on the legs. They did mention that in the original photos, they had camo here on the front of the legs. I guess they chose not to do that. So for the final release, you don't have that. I think the character does have it there, but just be aware that it's not there. But in the vehicle mode, you're definitely going to see that beautiful camo job. You have the gold paint here on the canopy here, and that looks really good. Nice copper paint here for this little detail, like almost like muffler detail. That was there, the detail was there, but it wasn't painted, so it just stands out now. So yeah, paint job is really nice. Molding changes, as far as I could tell, the only thing is the chest here. But there are lots of nice little accents and details. Let's go over his articulation. It is the same as the original, but I'm just going to show it for a good purpose. We have the head on the ball joint goes forward and backward. The neck itself is on a hinge, so that can go forward and backward as well. You get side to side and it rotates around. It does have a light up feature if you wanted to put the battery in here. I don't have the right batteries, I don't think. But if you want, you can put, let's see, 394As into there. And the eyes can light up. Personally, I'm not going to do that, but you have that option. I like the painted look for the eyes. Coming down to the arms, you have shoulders on a ratchet, rotate around, out to the side on a ratchet. You have a rotation here at the bicep. It's blocked a little by this. So you can fold that out of the way, and then you can rotate the arm a little bit more. There's also this back here. So you can get that out of the way too. But moving both of those, you definitely get more movement. It does get in the way a little bit of that rotation. Double joint elbow gets you the full bend. You have a rotation here at the wrist. Individually articulated fingers at 1, 2, 3 pins. He can point. And the thumb is on a ball joint, so that can rotate and go in and out. Coming down to the waist, we have waist rotation on a ratchet. Ab crunch down to there. For the legs, you have a hip skirt here on the front. The legs will kick on a ratchet up to there, back to there, up to the side on a ratchet, up to there. I'm trying to remember, did the original have that? Yeah, it did. It had a ratchet on the outside side. It's a little bit stronger of a ratchet that way. You have a 90-degree bend at the knee. I forgot to mention, rotation at the upper knee. Not at the thigh, at the upper knee. And it's on a ratchet. We get ankle tilts out to there. You get a toe tilt down or up, so you can get a walking pose out of that. We do get some nice accessories here. We get his blaster done in this orange. And just to show you the original, it is the same mold. Obviously different color. And it has two sets of handles, so make sure you fold down the smaller handle, not the combined mode handle. So use that. And that will tab into the hand. And he holds that nice and secure. He also gets this larger blaster, which was, I believe, part of the combined set. So if you bought the expansion upgrade kit for the original, I think you got this mold of the gun. So this is the fully combined mode. But for this guy, you can fold that up, fold that in. This will peg into the hand. There's actually two places to peg things in. There's a deeper one and an outer one. You want this into the deeper one. Otherwise, it won't peg in. But the deeper one, it definitely works. So you can close the fingers around it. Whoops, sorry about that. And now you can have that gun as well. And that looks really good. I like the look of that. There's the gold and the detail on the gun just looks more menacing than this one. We also get the kit that includes these, the feet upgrade. You can put this on in this mode. So if you open up right here, you can flip this down. It's a pretty tight joint. There's two clips right here. That's going to clip into this clip on the top of his shoulder. So there's two slots right here, not two clips. And you can get that lined up with the outer one. That'll sit right there like that. Same on the other side. Open this up and get that clipped in. And now you have this look. I think this looks really cool. The gold just adds to the look. I mean, honestly, this to me looks very G2-ish. It's just got those 80s colors. All right, and one other accessory we get with this guy is this adapter piece, which is meant for this guy here, their version of roll bar. And I was kind of wondering what this is for. It is meant to be a handle for combined mode. So this new clip, you can see the old one doesn't have that. This new peg on the bottom is going to allow you to plug it into the hand as a handle for the gun. But in robot mode, you can still use this. You can put this right here. It kind of wedges right between the arm and this backpack piece. And I'll show you on this side, but you can just put that right in there. And make sure the arm is pushed in all the way. This has to be collapsed down, but if you get that in there, you can grab his cannon, and that will plug in right here. And now you have this, shoulder-mounted cannon piece if you want it. You can also take this and mount it on the other side, but it does have utility in the robot mode if you want to use it. And for a size comparison, there it is next to the Magic Square version of Optimus Prime. And he's pretty tall. He towers over him, so fits in well with the Masterpiece scale. And for another comparison, there is the whole team together at last. And they do look good together. It's really, the colors just pop on this set. And yeah, overall, I think they did a pretty good job. One thing I want to mention is when I reviewed this guy, someone mentioned that the chest goes like this. When you do that, it doesn't lock in. So I had it like this with those panels down like that. And supposedly you're supposed to make a box out of this right here. So that, I guess, gives you closer to the look of this guy to begin with. But either way, nice looking set. All right, now let's get this guy transformed into vehicle mode. And just to let you know, it is easier to go from robot to combined mode. But since we haven't looked at the vehicle modes of all of them together, we'll do that first. So we'll start on the arms. Go ahead and lift up the arm. Make sure the hand is kind of folded into a cube like this. You'll slide up on this panel here. We're going to open up this panel here. Rotate the hand up. And rotate the hand in. Then close this up. Come to the back. You can see there's two pegs here, one on the inside and one right here. You're going to tab that in. It's a pretty tight tab. I'm going to lift this out to the side, and then go ahead and do the same thing on this side. And now that we have the arms taken care of, we can go ahead and hide away the head. So come back to here, unplug the backpack, open up this door. You can see there's some nice detail back here, which we're going to see. When are we going to see that? We're going to see that in combined mode, but we have to lift this up and out of here. Look at that. That looks really cool. And we have to get to this head, combined mode head. Open up the combined mode head, fold the robot mode head inside, close that up. That looks beautiful, by the way. I can't wait to see the combined mode. And then put this back in. Should just fit around. Just be careful with the paint. There's a lot of paint in there. Fold this back down, fold this back up, and just sit that right there for now. Actually, it's going to sit up like this. And now we've hidden away the head. Coming to the top here, we're going to fold these arms up. And you can kind of see what's going to happen, but peg these together. Give it a firm squeeze because otherwise you see the orange in between. Rotate the rearview mirrors back so you have that look. And we can fold this down. And that's basically the front done. Actually, we can come down to here and take care of this, but open this up. This will fold flat on this side. And just tab it in on the bottom. Now that's pretty much the front all done. So we can take these. These will fold up the hip skirts and tab into there. For the legs, open this up. Open that up. We're going to collapse the leg down, actually fold this around. There is a button right here. So if you push in on that button, that will allow you to collapse the leg up. And that should go up to there. This panel is going to come down and rotate into place. Right there and there. And then this can tab in to that. It's going to clip right into there. All right, once we got that taken care of, we can take care of this rear leg section. So lift up on this. You can open up this foot. We're going to pull out on this lower section to lengthen it basically. Come to the bottom, this will fold down here. We can straighten up the bumper. Down here we'll fold this and collapse that in. Oh, and we had to open up this panel too, right here. This will flip down and cover here. Then we can fold this up, tab that in on the back. Should tab right into the back of the foot here. This will fold down and sit right there. That's how one side looks. Go ahead and do the other side. All right, once you have both legs transformed, you can squeeze them together. Just tab it together. And I believe the official transformation, these go down like this. I think it looks better up, like a bumper, but I think it's supposed to be like this. All right, there is Megalith in vehicle mode. I think this looks really good. I love the camo deco all throughout. Nice gold on here and on here. That looks good. Silver for the wheels, rubber tires. Rolls nicely. And you got translucent headlights with gold trim. The orange in between these two arms does show up a little bit, so you really got to squeeze it together well. Rear view mirrors, you got red for the taillights back here. Like I mentioned, I prefer the bumper like this. But yeah, overall, a very good looking truck. They even have the exhaust detail painted down here, which I showed you in the vehicle mode. You can do a bunch of things here in vehicle mode. You can articulate this up and down. You can rotate around. We can take this gun, and this can attach right here. So you pull out on this a little bit. You can lift this up. This will peg in right here and into the side of the gun. Make sure you pull this out enough so you can get a little wiggle room. Tab it in. Push that back in, and now I can sit up here for, you know, a super gun. You can also take this and just undo that, and it can plug in back here. So there's a little slot right there. And if you fold down the handles, you can tab this in right here. And now you got a gun on the side, and because of the handle, you can articulate it a little bit up and down. We can also take the bigger gun, and same thing, we can pull this out and use this clip here, get it tabbed in, and same on the other side, get it tabbed in there. And then just collapse that back down. And now you got this mega gun on the top. You can open this up too. But yeah, you can store everything up here. That's pretty neat. We're not done. We can come to the back here, and these two, which become the feet, can store. So they're actually just clipped together with these two pieces. So clip that in like this. Then you're going to come to here. You can take this gun off for now. We're going to open up this panel, flip this over, push that up there. Then we can separate the legs. Use the button to extend the leg down, rotate the thigh up, rotate the leg down, and then collapse it back down. Same on this one. Extend, rotate up, rotate down, collapse back down using the button. This will fit into here. There's a tab and a slot. It's going into these tabs and slot down here. So get one side in. It's easier to just look and get that pegged in. Then tab it in the other side. And now you've got a big ramp, or a big storage bed. We can take the ramp and make that do a little thing here. So open this up down here. Move that out of the way. You want to open up this bottom piece here and fold this back, straighten this up, and close these back down. And now you have this ramp on the back of the truck, so you can drive up some of the other vehicles onto it. And one other way you can store this is there's 4 pegs here and 4 here, and there's these 6 tabs in the back, so you can kind of stow this right here, plug it in, and now it will transport like containers or whatever. So another option for display. And for a quick comparison, there it is with the original version, and basically the same mold, not much for differences, but there's a lot of detail on this guy. You got all the camo detail, you got the little USA symbol or whatever that is. You got all the gold paint on the back, just slightly different color taillights. So pretty much the same here in vehicle mode. One thing I forgot to mention though, under here there's a small detail. If you fold out this little clip, that plugs into the bottom of this. You don't even really need it, but I just forgot to mention that. But yeah, pretty much the same here in vehicle modes. And for size comparison, there it is next to the MP10 Optimus Prime, and you can see how it looks together. I think it works pretty well in truck mode. The larger flatbed probably doesn't work, but the front definitely works. I like it. All right, and there is the full team in alt mode, and again, it looks really nice together. I love that these two are camo, and the rest are, just army vehicle colors. You can display the tank up here, so you can ride along in that look. You can also take the shuttle and have it sit up here, ready for launch if you want. Or you can have it like this and just have this aimed up. There's a lot of things you could do. But all right, now let's get him into combined mode. And since this is already a pretty long review, I don't want to take any more time. Transformation, we do have to get it basically back to robot mode, but then transformed. So I'm going to get it transformed off camera. If you're interested in the transformation, you can take a look at my video for Incursus. But let's get it transformed, and then we'll be right back. All right, so here's how it comes. You're going to open up this section right here. fold that all the way down. You can open up these two panels on the front. And things are a little tight due to the paint, so just keep that in mind. On the back here, we're going to open up these. These are tabbed together. Bring this down on the sides. Fold this back. Flip this up. And fold this back like this. And then on the inside, we're going to fold this in and then fold that up. Same with this one. Bring this all the way back and fold this in. This will fold back. And that's how it should be looking. There's two slots here that are going into these two tabs. And then these two are going into the back of the foot. So that's kind of what holds it together. So set it down on top and get it plugged into the back. And then once you get those two back tabs in, come to the front, fold this down, tab it into the front of the foot, and it can be tricky to get those tabs in. And then these fold down and these tab into the sides of the feet. So you just gotta get those lined up. That's one foot. Do the same thing on the other side. I'll just do it off camera since it's exactly the same. All right, there is Eversus fully transformed with his feet. And I think this looks absolutely spectacular. I love the gold and black paint deco on the chest, the silver and gold for the head, the gold for the feet, the gold for the hands. All that looks really good. The feet make a huge difference. I think on the original set, they should have just included those. It not only does it help with balance, but it also looks better. So, you know, I just highly recommend if you have this set in the combined mode for that original one, definitely pick up the upgrade kit. Here's the back. We did remove all those weapons, so let me show you what to do with those, but I really do love how this looks overall. And it's the first updated version of a Ruination that we've ever gotten, I think, since the original. But let's show you how to do the weapons. So if we bring in our large gun here, we can attach some of the other weapons. So first you'll see on the sides there's two little slots for these red guns. So plug those in like that. Then you can take the gun from this guy and plug it in right here, or on this side. Actually, there's one small and one big one. That's how you know. So I should plug into the small one. The big one, you're going to take the gun from the tank and plug that in there. Then you're going to fold down your handle. And if you haven't already, fold this up. And there's your combined gun. And that will tab into the hands. And it's a little tricky to get in. You kind of have to look what you're doing first. There we go. And then close the fingers around it, and very nice looking gun. All right, but let's do the other one. There's a second gun, and that is what this alternate part is for that we got for roll bar. So for this, you're going to take this. It's going to plug into the bottom of this. These will rotate this way. Open up these panels on the back. Then we'll take, make sure I have it this way so the handle is facing back. All right, then we'll take the top here, plug in this piece. And you can actually have the gun plugged in here like that, but I'm going to show you the official way is you take that out and you plug it in right here on the bottom like that. Then we're going to take this gun. There's a slot right here, a square slot that fits perfectly in there. And then lastly, we've got this gun. And this one, Then we're going to take this one and plug it in right here on the side. And then lastly, take this one, plug it in that side. And again, you can redo this however you like, but that is basically the second combined mode gun. So we can give that to him on this side. And because of the new part here, you can indeed plug that into the hand. It is a little tight though. And there you go. There is the super combined mode gun. It looks fine. I mean, if you really want to, you can store all this stuff on the body anyway, so you don't need to do this. All right, let's go over the articulation and also just give you a little bit of a close-up. Nice silver and gold on the head with red eyes. I don't have the batteries in there, so I'm not going to get it to light up, but it does look very nice. Head can rotate around, goes up to there and down to there. You can get a little bit forward out of it because of the panel can actually fold down. Shoulders are on a ratchet, rotate around, up and down on this hinge here. If you lift this up, you can get a little further, but then it'll look funny. So you have a rotation here at the bicep. You have a double jointed elbow, but due to the sculpts, you can't really get it. I guess you could open these up and cheat it, but not really meant for that. Well, let's see. Yeah, you can do it. It's just it doesn't really gain you anything, so there's no point in undoing all that. You have a rotation at the wrist. It only doesn't go all the way because of the way it's designed. It comes together, these two pieces, so it goes up to there. Fingers are articulated 3 pins, and the thumb is on a hinge, ball joint, and 2 pins. So you get nice articulation on those fingers. Coming down to the waist, we have waist rotation on a ratchet. It's the same joint as the Onslaught figure. Same ab crunch as well, so it gets you down to there. I would argue that the ab crunch is hard to use just because of the balance of the figure. Coming down the legs, you have a waist or a hip skirt. We'll move out of the way. You can get the leg up to there, back to there, out to the side. The ratchets work pretty well. I think they're a little bit stronger than the original version of Bruticus, but still a little bit. I think it could have stand to be a little bit stronger there in the hips. For the knees, you have a 90-degree bend on a ratchet. Feet, you have ankle tilt and forward and backward. And for a size comparison, there it is next to the Ocular Max version of Defensor. And they're about the same height. They're designed to be the same height. But there you go. That's how they look together. And for another comparison with a more modern day combiner, there it is with the Toy World Constructor, their version of Devastator. And yes, it does come in shorter than these scale of combiner. But we don't have another Ruination existing. So right now, this is it. I do think it looks good. It is a little bit small, though, when compared to other modern combiners. So final recommendations on the Ocular Max TFCon Chicago 2025 exclusive Megalith. And I'm going to give you 2 different scores, one for the figure and one for the combiner. I'm going to give the figure a 4 out of 5. I'm going to recommend it. I think it looks really good. It still has some of the odd proportions that the original had, especially in the chest and waist area. But other than that, I think it looks really cool. I love the deco of it overall, the gold and the black, the reuse of the weapons, the way they did it. I think it really looks good with the figure. And I love that you can use both weapons if you want to. Lots of nice playability and options with this figure. When it comes to the combiner, I think I'm going to give that a 5 out of 5. This is a really cool combiner to do for an exclusive, right? It's a great use of the mold because it's almost identical to the Bruticus. So, only minor changes were needed on the head sculpts and the chest and different areas. So yeah, just a really well done use. And they didn't skimp on the paint, right? You've got lots of nice paint detail all throughout the combiner. The gold really helps stand out, especially with the feet, the crotch, the head, the waist, chest, the guns back here. I mean, it really looks good with the amount of gold they put on there. And yeah, I just think it's a good use of the mold. And I love the new added gun. That's a cool, innovative feature they added as well. So yeah, I think this is one of those exclusives where they've really figured out how to get a good use out of this. And it's not something that is so obscure or doesn't look like the character. It really looks like what you'd want it to look like. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching. Thanks to Toy Dojo and Ages 3 and Up, where I bought this over the past 5 TFCons. That's pretty crazy. And we'll see you next time.